Watch out for these cards because they're on the move. We are back again for another installment of the Hot 10. Reserve List Edition that always comes out on Sundays, 11:15 Eastern Standard Time. I'm MTG Moxman. Thanks for hanging out with me today. There's a lot of sales. Things are starting to, there's a smell test and it's not passing right now. People are unhappy. And when people are unhappy with what Wizards of the Coast is doing, they start looking around. They look over their shoulders. They look left to right. Some people are going to get a Big Mac meal. Some people get some nachos and cheese like I would. Shredded bacon. Extra cheese on top. Some guacamole on the side. You see what I'm saying, right? People are looking for alternatives. And that is the reserve list. Stable, valuable, and not being reprinted. And that's what we're going to go through today. You guys always know I'll say, we start the Yellow Brick Road journey at number 10. And we end at number 1. And don't worry, if you think I've forgotten, the coffee's right here. I always have the coffee with me on a Sunday morning and on a Saturday. I'm ready to share this with you. I'm ready to get down to business, and I hope you guys are too. Hope your coffee's hot, the bacon is fresh, and the eggs are just delicious. Let's count this down from number 10 to number 1, and you guys will now see exactly what I'm talking about. Our first card today is Null Rod from Weatherlight, with 24 sales this week. Now, the average price and the market price are pretty close together, but not quite. Let's just say it's around $95, $100. Let's make it even. It's $100 US to own this card, okay? When you look at it here in Canada, it's around $130 Canadian. It's €59.94 is the average to get this card into your house and enjoy it and play with it. But 24 times 100 is $2,400 in sales. And that's the number 10 card. That is a massive amount of money being invested into this card. It seems slow. It's 24 copies. That's just this week, though. Think about all the weeks cards like this end up on this list where I bring this information and data forward to you guys to consume, to enjoy, to look at. When you start looking week after week, month after month, and start adding up those sales, you realize there are hundreds and hundreds of copies selling every year. How many are actually out there? It's not what you think. How many near mint copies are out there? It's even worse than you think. You're going to go ahead and buy yourself a Crimson Vow box for $109 Canadian? Or are you just going to buy yourself a near mint Null Rod? You're going to go back to Weatherlight and get an ancient card? That's what I'm talking about. That's what players are dealing with right now, is they can get actual value or crack a box and maybe get a $5 card. Wizards has something to fix here. They have something to go with, and they're not there yet. Weatherlight is not getting opened anymore. It's too expensive, okay? You might get the odd box opened by a YouTuber like myself, but it's just not going to happen very often. This card's too expensive. That's just a fact of it, okay? Now, number 9 this week, down the Yellow Brick Road, is Fork from Revised. 28 sales this week. Another card that has been here countless times on the list. And you can't hammer this home any harder than I already have. If you don't own copies of this, $49, $50 to own this card is an amazing deal right now. Here in Canada, it's still around $70, kind of expensive. €29.24 overseas. I look at this and say, good value for what you're spending. It's around, 28 sales at $50. That's $1,400 roughly spent on this card in a 7-day period. That's what people have to recognize. Think about how much, that's like 14 boxes worth, right? On one card. And that's week after week, month after month. Sometimes this thing is sold a couple of hundred copies. Remember that. That's when people are spending $30,000, $40,000 a week buying this card. There is something going on right now. I know some of the bigger guys are watching my channel and they're catching up on some of this stuff because I actually compile it all for them. I guess I'm presenting data to anybody, but I know people are watching because they're getting information about this and they recognize, if I can compile this just myself, imagine how many sales are happening that I'm not even aware of, that players bring to me later on. It's a lot worse than people realize. People are mad at Wizards. They're not happy and they're buying these cards. It's happening. The sales are getting higher each week, it seems, right now. And there's so many cards that are almost making the top 10. So here we have Fast Bond, Revised Edition, 29 sales this week. Just a smidgen higher than that Fork. And another card that's been hanging around. This card has been bought out week after week. consistently for the last, several weeks now. It keeps making the top 10 because at one point this card was what, $17, $18? I remember buying them for $5 back in 2020. Look at where we're at with this. It's still falling in price. It's still getting sold cheaply. And people are going ahead and they're buying the near mint copies, okay? They are picking this stuff up and they're hoarding it because if it ever becomes unbanned, if anything gets found out with this card, that's when people are really going to start having a good time with it. That's all I can say. An amazing card. I love it. I know people were like watching the channel and they follow me and they say, yeah. I said, yeah, you could recognize it. It's a good card to have around. All right. Number 7. Lake of the Dead here again. Now it's not in the number 10 spot. No. People took a look after I told them last week and mentioned the sales were starting to pick up and they said, hey, yeah, it's like $50, $60. And they go ahead and buy it. Now the sales I'm seeing this week are moderate, light played, and near mint. It's a good variety of sales on this card. And I look at that and I say it's still underpriced. This card was like $300 and now it's only $1. So it's like a big, huge discount still. It's going to go back up. But for those players who needed to get themselves at least one copy, congratulations, saving all that money, getting it this cheap on the rebound. You made a smart play. In my opinion, the cards I'm seeing here are cards I would recognize too. I'm glad people are taking advantage of some of the deals they're starting to see because it's going to get worse. I think the sales are going to climb. Artwork like this, card abilities like this just don't exist anymore. Wizards doesn't build mechanics like this because they recognize it's too powerful. And that leads us to the reserve list. People start looking around for options and they recognize how amazing the reserve list is for cards like this. Now let's go ahead and take a look at Savannah. 33 sales coming in at number 6. Average price, $370. We're just going to average it off there. That means we're talking how many thousands of dollars right now. I'm not even going to work out the math. It's too early in the morning. It's a Saturday. I just want to sip my coffee and kick back. But I would just say it's around, what, $9,000 plus right now? That's a lot of money. That is a huge chunk of change being spent on this particular card. And if people don't see the value there, that's up to them. But there's a reason why people are buying it. There's a reason this is happening. And you're going like, why? Why? Because people know you can't keep buying it when it's gone. You have to buy now while it's available, while it's there. Somebody's spending between $9,000 and $12,000 this week to buy that card. That's a big chunk of change. That's US. Depending on the editions, it worked out to I think around $11,000 they spent, give or take, on this one card. Guys, you can't say enough about it. It's a dual land. A lot of the other lands didn't make the list, but if an Underground Sea has 18, 19 sales this week, it gets beaten out because some cards were in the 20s. Sure, it doesn't make the list, but it's still got 18 copies sold at $650 US a copy. That's still thousands upon thousands of dollars. And those cards didn't make the list. There's a lot of money going into the reserve list right now. I know it's under the radar. People aren't paying attention to it. And I know this video doesn't get massive views. You know, I know everyone's not into watching a top 10 video, but I look at this and just say, this is hilarious to me. Because we've talked about it, we've covered it. You guys who've been here on the channel recognize this as well. You've been buying some cards yourselves. I love those emails you guys send me. Tell me which cards you're picking up. The communication is key. And yeah, cards like this are going to keep selling until the price goes up. If anything, it's actually dipped a little bit, but I think it's hilarious because I'm hoping that it would go down. But I think after videos like this get out there, people like the Taco King talking about it, yeah, we're going to see a little bit of a rebound here. Now, Leeches. All right, number 5, 43 sales this week, okay? This is a Homelands card, but it removes poison counters. A lot of people are still buying it because we're coming up to the Phyrexians, right? We're going to go back there, check out the Brothers' War in just a few more months. I get it. I get it. It's a cheap card still. People are buying it. It's not the most versatile in my mind, but I can see why people might want to buy it to see if it gets a good uptick with anything that they create for the set. That's just people speculating and buying into it. I can't see myself needing more than a playset, which of course I already own, so I'm not really after this card. But I see why a lot of people might be saying, this is an interesting card to have around. Who knows what's going to happen? And at $3-4 a copy, yeah, I might as well buy some and see what happens. It's Leeches. How can you say about Leeches? Okay, Righteous War. Now, I mentioned this last week, and it looks like it had an uptick because of what I said. And a lot of players are kind of agreeing with me that it probably shouldn't be as cheap as it is. It has some value. It has some use to it. Okay? All white creatures you control gain protection from black. All black creatures you control gain protection from white. And that's a 3 casting cost. 1 black, 1 white, 1 generic. Of course, it should be more than a $2, $3 card. Okay? Get it while it's cheap. I agree. I bought myself a playset. I'm happy with my purchase. Can't wait till it comes to TCG Player. And of course, guys, if you're buying on TCG Player, don't forget to use my affiliate link. You can find it in the description of all my videos, and that immediately helps boost up the channel and allow me to get a few bucks here and there to buy cards myself. So I really appreciate those who do that for me. Thank you again. Amazing. It's just such a great card. Okay? Like, and it's so cheap to cast. And Wizards just isn't building cards like that. We know that. All right. Number 3. Love these reserve list cards. Amulet of Unmaking. That's right. This card can still be had for around 60 cents, lightly played. 58 sales last week. Okay? That means people spent $110 US and they got on the list this week. Okay? It made the top 10 because of the amount of copies it sold. That's how we do things here for the Hot 10 videos. When you see this, you can just recognize it doesn't have to be the most expensive card. It's the most sales. And Amulet of Unmaking went all the way to number 3 just because, hey, why not have something that just removes things out of the way? It's a generic catch-all and can go into any deck. That's why it's good. It can go anywhere. Wizards usually builds very linear artifacts now. This one can literally go into any deck. It's perfect. I mean, I see why people are buying it. I see why they're kicking it around. I wish it was used as an instant. You know, being as a sorcery, it's a little bit slower, but it doesn't come into play tapped or anything. And the artwork, right, is just amazing. So I love this stuff, and it's so cheap still. You can get them on TCG Player for 60 cents. It's, you know, it's a nothing card. But having one just in case, or having a playset for like $2, $3, I can see why people are buying it. Okay. I know. I'm about to freak out. I know. I'm trying to calm down. I'm gonna calm down. Thrall Champion is back here, and it almost made number 1. Thrall Champion, Fallen Empires. I guess a lot of you guys out there said, you know what? He's right. If any cards come along that catch into a Thrall Champion, spending $1.25 on a Thrall Champion is probably not a bad idea. I can buy 4 moderately played for $5. Exactly. And a lot of you agreed because there were 78 sales. That counts as a buyout. Okay, that is a small but decent buyout on this card. And it's not going to affect the price at all. The price is still going down. It's fantastic. Look for the near mint copies whenever you can. I see some of you did buy near mint copies. Congratulations. I myself bought a playset of 4 and they were all near mint. And I paid $2.97 US for each one because I keep buying this card each and every month. I look at this card and I still say it can happen. Doesn't mean it's going to. But if at any time something catches on this card, we already know it can be used with shapeshifters and changelings and stuff, but the fact this can be used anywhere like that can give it a lot of versatility later on. It could be 5 years from now, guys. It doesn't have to be now. It has to be the potential of it happening at some point at a later date. That's how a lot of Magic cards became really powerful because of other cards and shenanigans that link these cards together. So congratulations to those guys who bought them. Makes great sense. Now, the number 1 card. You've gone down the yellow brick road with me. You've hung out with me. You put up with this conversation. Let's get down to it, man. The number 1 card this week is Phyrexian Tribute. 378 sales. Now, the card started a lot cheaper. You can see the spike at the edge of the page there. The market value is $7 and change. They were as low as like $3. Somebody still spent around $2,500, give or take, to get all these copies. Probably a small coordinated buyout with a couple of people deciding they like this card. So 1 black, 2 other, sorcery from Mirage. Sacrifice 2 creatures, destroy target artifact. We have the Brothers' War coming up. This is not a completely useless card. There are reasons to have cards like this around. I'm not surprised that a card like this would get a buyout. I find it interesting that many copies sold because we are talking a large volume. That's a large volume of cards selling. Oh, sorry, I clicked that off. Sorry, I double-clicked it. What can I say? It's Saturday morning. That is a very large volume of cards selling all at once, okay? That's a buyout we haven't seen for quite a few months now, and it's very cool to see it coming around again. I just think we're seeing diversification from a lot of players in the market and the financial side of things saying, I don't like the direction Wizards is taking. I'm worried about the value of the sealed boxes, the contents, the cards I'm opening up. And I know these reserve list cards have future value. I know they have collectability because they can't be reprinted. They're not coming back around. People can dream about a reprint. They can dream that Wizards breaks the rules and does it. I don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening. And that's for everyone in their own opinion to see what they think will happen. In my opinion, it's never happening. I know, but I buy reserveless cards, right? What do I know? I don't know anything. I'm just a guy talking into a microphone, looking at you guys saying, I hope you have some nachos and cheese today. I hope you kick back. And I really hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Have a fantastic day wherever you are in the world of Magic. I'll see you guys soon. And yeah, that was my dog barking because it's probably time to walk the dog. Have a great one, guys. And this shout out goes out to every fantastic person who supports this channel. All my patrons who make this possible each and every day. Without you guys, there wouldn't be a channel. Have a great one. Hey guys, welcome to the end of the video. That's right. See this? I have to open this for the 10K party. People bought some packs out of this thing. So I thought I would just... Oh, that's right. Old boxes like this, they just aren't coming around anymore. And I wanted to share that with you on camera. Opening that bad boy. That's right. Scourge. Wait, what year is this one? What year is this? 2003. 20 years ago. Box is 20 years old. I gotta save the wrap. I always save the wrap because you gotta compare. How many are really left in the world? That is a good question. But we just opened a box of Scourge. Whew. Old-fashioned goodness. Have a great one, guys.